Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michael O'Malley with the Severe Weather Outlook and Discussion for April 19th, 2020, recorded around 12:40 p.m. Eastern Time. We have, once again, a moderate risk for severe storms encompassing Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia for parts of those regions, with an enhanced risk all the way out through Charleston, South Carolina, near Wilmington, North Carolina. The reason for that is, once again, we have this low pressure system that is expected to ride across the southeast United States and bring very unsettled weather to areas out here that were already impacted by a major severe weather outbreak last Sunday, only a week earlier, with 131 confirmed tornadoes so far, with 2 EF4s, including one very high-end EF4 that is those same areas are under the gun today for another round of potentially strong to severe storms. That's the day one categorical, and this is the day one tornado outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. There was some talk about going to a high risk, but that has been largely squashed. There's just not enough to kind of conclude for a high risk for severe weather today, but it does not matter. A moderate level 4 out of 5 or high 5 out of 5 is still a very significant situation. Even if you are in a level 4 out of 5, a moderate risk for severe storms, that provides and paves the way for a very significant tornado potential. And one statistic that I do want to say is the last about 2 out of 4 EF5 tornadoes occurred in a moderate risk day, so they do not have to be high risks for these to occur. Not saying we're getting EF5s, but I'm just saying that is one of the very few statistics that we do want to pay attention to, is that you do not need a high risk for strong, violent tornadoes, as proven by last week. This is also the day one wind outlook. You can see this is a 30 hatch setup across portions of the moderate risk, even this area of 45 and through here. What's going to end up happening is currently right now there is some warm sector supercells that are going to begin to form across this region out in here, with very unsettled weather, and the instability is going to provide and pave the way for the capping inversion to be breaking very shortly. You can already see that we do have a couple of specks on radar that have started to kind of flare up over the last little bit. And we also have this large complex of showers and thunderstorms out here that is providing some severe weather to portions of Louisiana right now, just east of Shreveport. What's going to end up happening is we've got a warm front, and we can pull up the SPC mesoanalysis to look at that. We have a warm front kind of extending from southern Alabama in through portions of Mississippi and Louisiana. And what that is going to do is continue to move northward throughout the day. You can see we've already had that surge across portions of Texas and through southern Oklahoma, and that is going to transition to lead these dew points up in the upper 70s to continue to stream and pipe northward. However, there is some uncertainty to just how far the extent of this warm front can be, and if we change the sector right now, what you're going to see is that this warm front kind of tapers off as you get further to the east. This warm front is not lifting as rapidly up to the north as previously expected, and that could pave the way and suppress the severe weather threat further south. But you can see that if we extend this about 4 hours out, that line does get a little bit further to the north. Similar to what we saw last Sunday across portions of Alabama with that warm front that barely made it up to the Birmingham region through early evening. That paved the way for these storms to kind of come across and ride that warm front and produce a couple of intense tornadoes across that region, a couple of strong tornadoes. That is going to be much of the similar way today across with this warm front region. However, this warm front's not expected to get as far to the north. You can see only by 6 hours out, this warm front is roughly expected to be just south of Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, and to continue to kind of make its way further up to the north. The story of the story of the day is the further east you go, the less of a chance this warm front has to rapidly expand and lift northward. You can see that if we switch it out right now to our surface-based instability, you can really see that with about nearly 5,000 Cape and a small portion of southern Louisiana with widespread 4,000 and 3,000 to 4,000 Cape. But you can really kind of tell distinctly where this warm front vaguely is. And again, that's not expected to rapidly move northward. You can see between now and about a 6-hour forecast, it's not expected to rapidly move northward, and the further east you go, the less and less forcing is going to be able to pull this warm front to the north and provide that instability. So there could be a question as to how much instability does arrive across portions of extreme eastern and southeastern Alabama in through portions of western and southwestern Georgia. The question is going to be, can this warm front rapidly move to the north and provide and pave the way for a more substantial severe weather threat that way? Taking a look at the College of DuPage website here, this is the GO16 mesosector, and you can clearly see that where that warm front is kind of positioned, we have a large area of expansive cloud cover across this region out here, and this is north of the warm front with a classic warm front set up. We'll draw that a little bit better with a classic warm front set up roughly positioned around here. And you can already see where we have very unstable instability and unstable air that is lifting through portions of Louisiana and Mississippi right now, even through near Mobile. You can see a 78 over 72, 78 temperature with 78 dew point. That is paving the way for a rapid instability build down here. And that's going to pave the way for what could be a pretty substantial severe weather threat later today. If we take a look at the latest high-resolution HRRR, this is the 15Z run, and you notice that we're looking here at the temperature and we're looking at the dew point temperature and also the wind flow. And you do notice what's going to end up happening is this is about to 21Z this afternoon. We do notice that there is a rapid expansion of these dew point temperatures in through portions of Alabama and Mississippi, with roughly a warm front being positioned somewhere along in here would be roughly where the warm front would be. There is the chance that we could get a higher moisture return across portions of northern Alabama today if the moisture advection is stronger than predicted by the models, which may or may not happen. Right now it does not look especially likely, and you do notice we eventually get cyclogenesis out here, and that will continue to move off towards the north and east and provide for a substantial severe weather threat later today and tonight across those regions. If you take a look here at the composite reflectivity, you do notice that we do start to get this little MCS cluster that was ongoing, mainly elevated convection today across portions of Alabama that did bring some substantial damage already to portions of Alabama. That is continuing to work off towards the east at a pretty good clip and should clear the area. But you do notice that we do get more rebuilding and more clustering of these thunderstorms down here, and there is the potential then for some warm sector supercells to form across this region throughout the day today, and that could pave the way for a more substantial severe weather threat. But again, it is going to be a messy line of thunderstorms likely, and that is the reason why that we cannot upgrade to a high risk across this region, because of the fact that there is just not a lot of forcing kind of acting on this region right here, and that is going to provide the way, pave the way for what could be more of a messy storm mode once we get to all the linear lines and stuff like that. So we'll be continuing to monitor it throughout the day, but you obviously can tell that we have a pretty substantial severe weather threat today across portions of Mississippi, Louisiana, southern Alabama, and southern Georgia today, even in through the Carolinas overnight, with a chance of strong, significant tornadoes and significant wind damage. Hope you all have a safe rest of your day, and I will see you later.